friends, day 6, bar is closed. So the scenery is a little different. Just so really seems to love me and decided to make my podcast hardware fail, I think because it was too cold. It always took a lot of wiggling, as I explained earlier, and I went through surgical wiggling tonight before starting, and it slowed me down. I think I had too much to say. So the podcast looked like it was dead. And I thought, wow, right out of the gates, every night commitment. I'm trying to imagine how I'm going to explain episodes 6 and 7 together because I was running in town to get hardware, whatever. Anyway, I just let it go and said, wow, I guess you need a day off or something, and you're just going to have to explain that, and that's just what's going to happen. And so I went downstairs, and it's late here. I made it just in time. I think it's just turned 12 a.m. So I'm on the air. I made today, guys. I made it. So I sat down, put a movie on, and was just hanging out, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me, like, what if it's just too cold up there? You know? And I'm thinking it's Tascam hardware, and it shouldn't require jiggling because it turns itself off permanently from USB drive, and Tascam hardware, just doing a plug for you guys right now, and thinking it withstand weather that I can withstand, at least, but apparently not. So I jumped up and ran upstairs and brought it down, put it by the fire, grabbed all the accessories to it, and I'm now sitting in my favorite room, and we've moved from the wood perch upstairs to the stone room, which is where I do most of my pondering and anything. So now I feel totally blessed, and I'm so sitting by the fire. It's like I couldn't have asked for anything more. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I was awfully ambitious trying to keep it going up there. I don't even know if I was committed to keeping it going up there, but I certainly started it there, so I'm glad I did. That's our space. My trusty dog Tahoe is sitting here wrestling around with his favorite toy, which is his pillow bed that he loves to rip up. It's just he wants to tear it to shreds. So he's doing that. And, obviously in times like these, there's all kinds of thoughts that you can come to the microphone with. I hope to kind of keep them succinct because our time is short together. So today, really what landed on me the most was consistency. And that's what you inherit most, or what I'm inheriting most and seeing around me and seeing in myself and seeing in my flashbacks and seeing in my flash forwards that consistency is one of the inheritance of sobriety. And I think when I heard it, a lot of this stuff, I'm sure I'm just going to keep unfolding, and it just seems like duh moments. But for me, it's all new. And I think I asked myself that too, because I'm like, why is this a duh moment? I mean, what are you thinking? And the reality is, I thought consistency was dull. I think that I was petrified of consistency, to be honest. That I thought that people who were too much in the same range all the time and consistent, somehow reflected to me a life less lived. And so I think that that's one of the reasons why I rebelled against consistency. And I actually thought to myself, like, where the rebel, go back to it. And I've, played around with that conversation before. But, I grew up with a James Dean Boulevard of Broken Dreams, big, huge poster on my wall, the biggest poster you can get, and got it foam mounted, expensive foam mounted at the mall. And I was just so proud of it and took it with me until it was just, you couldn't even visualize it anymore, just torn apart, or beat up. But anyway, obviously that was kind of like my patriarch. And so somehow, having those range of emotions and joy and passion and pain and all of it just seemed right up my alley, or at least I adopted and inherited that as one of my own, and admired other people, the Gandhis or John Lennon's and other, I don't know, I'm going to name off names, but admired people who kind of had a higher form of it. But yeah, so, and I, remember saying this to another person, no, I don't want to stop drinking because I don't want to lose my life. I don't want to lose my passion. I don't want to lose, in a lot of ways I was kind of judging and saying, I don't want to look like them. If stopping drinking makes me look like them, then fuck it. I'm not going to do it. So that was a real realization. But then, I got gone through a moment where I bumped into a guy in town that, I'm not a day drinker, like I said, but I was imagining all the people I bumped into and the particular people that I bumped into and the kind of conversations I was having with them and I guess maybe the added humility and less personality that I was able to portray, both maybe being, in all sobriety for days, and so a different kind of sober because you didn't drink the night before, so even though you're sober today and you slept it off and doing your due diligence in life, but there's still, whatever is there, right? And so now, days in, I'm feeling like, all my conversations are very centered and very present, and more present for sure, feeling that. And then I realized, like, well, if I bump into them again and again and again, and now it's at a wine tasting at the, whatever, and I've got a little too many drinks on there, that guy isn't consistent with the guy that was, out on the street. And that's the first one I can see in myself. And then the flash forward comes together. And I'm like, damn, do I like that now or not? And the reality is I don't like that now. I mean, it's okay to, have a soiree, don't get me wrong, for me, but now I don't like that I can choose whenever I want to drink. And whenever and however I do that, no matter who's around, I can be me unapologetically, and then therefore be less present to the consistent person that is interacting with all these other people. That hit me. That really hit me. Yeah, I'm sitting on that one, and I think our time's up. More to talk about, but I'll see you tomorrow.